So this is a quick video about what I have learned so far in the year of 2025 about targeting. I might do a series called Targeting Diaries or Targeting Updates. And also I'm going to do a series about healing, which you will see on my channel. One of the things that I've learned is that I can sense there is a physical presence in my environment. So I want to look more into presences of like consciousness, but in forms which are not detectable by the eye. I can sense it, I can feel it, but I can't and they can feel my if I do attack, like if I were to hit them or something, I feel their reaction from the presences when they're attached to me. Again, like this is all targeting, this is all surveillance and the government and programs that they use and parasites which control from the top down, which is a consciousness that is really being operated up on top of. There are levels to this. One of the other things I learned is that we have so many layers to our existence, to our being. Layers are infinite, but like again, we have to. For me, it's just about attracting the good, positive, and like clearing out all the negative and the bad. So yes, I want to do an investigation into the presence, but non-visible, and non. I don't like. Well, at one point I did lash out at the thing, and like I said, they could feel my reaction. All I know is that the Bible talks about sage. No, the Bible talks about frankincense and myrrh. Spirituality, like spiritual people talk about sage, but I've heard sage can be bad. It's temporarily helps the situation, but then it attracts more negative energies than it does positive after a while. And then I've heard that you could put salt down and let that attract bad energies in the environment. Now that does make sense in the sense that crystals attract, or they project a frequency, but there's some crystals that can actually attract it too. There was other things that I will do an investigation. To me, I think like there are solutions, but they just don't want you to know. So they've either hidden the solutions, or they don't make it available to the average person. Or they make it extortionately expensive. I'm going to do my scientific investigation into this because this is something I'm very interested in. I had an experience where it felt like it appeared that I saw a ghost. But again, I tell you, they can do illusions and stuff like that. So I don't 100% rely on that. But like I say, there are spirits. There's different names for these things, demons, other things. The term demon doesn't, and jinn and all that type of stuff, it's very vague. It's like just saying human, but not, I don't know how to describe it. Like you don't see the characteristics. We're just told that they're bad, they do bad things, and they're like lust and all these other things. But there's more to them than that. It's like saying that a parasite is just a virus or something like that. Even just a virus has more characteristics, more traits, more weaknesses, more vulnerabilities. And it's about investigating as to what exactly we're dealing with and how to combat it, because the more you know your enemy, the better you are at getting rid of it and destroying it. So I'm going to do more investigations into that. Again, on that topic, I do want to ask everyone out there, whoever manages to watch this video, do you know of ways to like clear bad spirits and entities, because they're being projected into my environment? And the more when I go out, when I come home, it appears there's more of them. But I know that they're just projecting themselves, and it's not really about like being out and about. But there are, again, ghosts and other things that I do believe those things are true. I think like they're like ghosts are like remnants of the programming, like old programs are walking around. But I do not pretend to know all of it. So another thing that I noticed is that they can make sickness. I've mentioned this in another video. They can put sickness on people. Again, I am now coming to one of the things I've learned this year is that sickness, I'm starting to learn, not just like microwave weapons, but their programs. I actually believe COVID was, some people said they put demons, they opened a portal and demons came into the reality, blah, 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 blah. Demons, yeah, but I'm starting to realize that they're programs, because the sickness that I experience is, so first of all, the character that they present is a male. It's an older male, and he does the same thing every single time. It's just like a cough, and if I hit my chest, then he will like grunt and clear. But I realized that that's not a normal human being characteristics. Like, yeah, they can do that, but like consistently, it's a program that they've put on Earth. So I believe that COVID and all these sicknesses is they let free programs of like illness, and if you had a vulnerable immune system, you'll be susceptible to it. So again, most of these things are controlled by the government and the secret services, secret societies, these black operations. I know I repeat myself all the time, but like secret services are involved as well. Heavily involved. Secret services are just the watchers of this age. So, and they don't just watch, they manipulate, they get involved in people's lives. I do apologize for having to repeat myself all the time, but I don't know who's new to the channel and who's just watching this, who's newly watching this. So, again, they try to label you. So I've found that they try to put labels on you, especially they try to stereotype you. They'll try to do things that scare you. So they'll tell you things about yourself and that not specifically your personal being, but things that you're afraid of. They think you're afraid of, at least. They'll try to scare you and terrorize you in that sense. Then also, just on top of that, I just realized how hard they have to work. Their demonic agenda, their torturing, their manipulation, their harassment, their sexual targeting, their sex trafficking, like all this done by like the secret services, like MI5, MI6, Mossad, CIA, FBI. There are so many secret societies, you would be shocked. And you would be shocked like which organizations are involved and who's involved. There's no wealthy, like highly wealthy person who hasn't been recruited, groomed, and they're all related. Like a lot of these are Jewish families. Is one of the things that I have come to learn. I've been reading some very interesting books, and I have come to learn about these secret societies. Like there's like the Trilateral Agreement Group. There's like the Bilderberg Group. There's also I'm just gonna try and flick through a book and refer to them. NATO is one of them, actually. So one of the bigger ones that everybody's kind of aware of, but it's like a mixture of different countries, foreign countries all coming together. The Americans have the Skull and Bones, but that's probably international. I wouldn't be surprised. Skull and Keys, the Phi Beta Kappa. So all of those are college places. There's the Round Table. There's the Council of Foreign Relations. So you probably heard of some of this. There's the Trilateral Commission. And again, all of these leaders in these organizations and their members are people who you would be surprised. They are the people you see all like on the news all the time, and in your and on your newspapers and in celebrity environments. So it's all very controlled at the top. So that's why when you do wake up to what's going on, you're like, wow, okay, I see. So, you know, it is, they do say that ignorance is bliss in some ways. And I kind of understand what they mean by that, because when you awaken, you're like, oh, I don't know how, like, you don't function the same way that you would prior to knowing what has been going on. Oh, yeah, and I just wanted to add, your favorite content creators that are really big, who are doing well, they groom them and they recruit them once they get to a certain level. So there's a reason why some people blow up and other people stay under the radar. And like once you do get to that level, they groom you and recruit you. So a lot of the people that you deal with, like your managers and all those people around you, I'm sure you're aware of this already, but they're all part of it as well. Because the media, like, you know, the big media companies which are owned by Jewish families, they need to control the narrative. So it only makes sense that they would have to control those who are influencing the younger generations. So there is a mice. Every time I make a video, this mice just appears in the most weirdest of places. Anyway, on that topic, imagine just that I'm talking and that mice appears on my table right next to where I'm sitting. But like, yeah, they control animals as well. And then I wanted to say that they put, you know, like how you watch those nature channels and they always put like this camera, like this fake dummy animal in the wild so that it can monitor the other animals. They do that to us too. I suspect not every person you see who looks like a human being is a human being. I think that the AI and robots have become very advanced, but also the animals can be fake animals. They're just like monitoring, but they make them very realistic because obviously they can if they can hijack human beings, they can hijack animals. So, and there's a lot of people who can be tapped. And another thing I knew this for a very long time, but not everybody's aware. Your family are not part of it. They're just tapped. I call it tapped. They're just tapped. They can tap into people, and don't be surprised if they tap into you sometimes to affect other people. But yeah, so it's just that you're aware and you're more woke, but like the tapping into people is very common. All these, like, you know, you hear them on the news, they talk about different states and different groups and different countries, and they come together. Those are a lot of these are secret societies. I have seen, like, I suspect secret society events happening in my surroundings, like in my neighborhood. There'll be like parties. I kind of call them parties, but it's really just a gathering of a lot of people, and they would leave a small building. You'll think it's just like one small flat, but there'll be loads of people coming out. That's what I have noticed, and it always seems to be white people. So I suspect, obviously, because of the times that we're in now, that this has become more frequent because they're trying to control what's happening in the world. They have to do their witchcraft and wizardry and their druid stuff and their warlock stuff to try and control things, because that's another thing that I learned. Heavily witchcraft. And they use that as, and I think when technology gets to a certain level, like when you go into, like, what is that word? Quantum physics. Quantum physics is about belief systems and all that type of things. That is the witchcraft that they practice. Quantum physics. Where you get to learn about how atoms move and interact and all these type of things. I have talked about that in my previous video. Another thing that I learned is that, and it's not something that's new, but I thought I might as well mention it here because I haven't mentioned it in any other video, is that when you become highly powerful, highly enlightened, if you ever try magic, you have to be very careful because you become under the attention of them. And that's when a lot of people start falling into the targeting. Some people are just special by birth. Some people, it's just their bloodline. But mostly all of the people here on Earth, they're of a special bloodline, like Pacific bloodline. Some of them are powerful. Some of them are just evil. Some of them are... So that's why a lot of people are targeted. And when you become powerful, they watch you from birth. But when you do come into your power, they will attack you to control you and suppress you, usually if you're not part of the bloodlines that they are aligned with, like not part of the secret societies, these Jewish Freemasonry groups and like Illuminati type things. I might talk about some of the books that I'm reading, but I want to really finish the books first before I talk about them. And then, like, yeah, so it's do your own research, and there's books out on it, and it's very fascinating. And a lot of the knowledge is public in a sense that it's not hidden. You can find information, but it's just that people will probably think you're a bit crazy or a bit like not on, like, you know, they will kind of like, there's a conscious like cognitive dissonance where they will try to rubbish what you're saying or ignore it, or it's quite interesting. But there's a lot of programs running. Some of the layers that we experience of our consciousness are programs. So that's another thing that I have come to learn. But like I say, when I've been experiencing a lot of gang stalking and street theatre, so I had to repeat that, because they have been, I've noticed they've been making themselves presence in all of my local areas and the places that I used to usually frequent. So like I say, spontaneous, you have to be spontaneous, go places that you don't usually go, don't just hang around your area, go outside of your area, because they're gonna figure out where you tend to go for things, and they're gonna either like put their little curses or spells on these things and then wait for you to take one home. Pray over everything. Another thing I learned, pray over everything that enters your home. Pray over it. So I'll talk about this again in another video, but yeah, I pray over everything that I purchase and I receive, because I suspect that they try to do things to it, or like, you know, mess it up in some way. I pray against, like, you know, I'm not going to put too much detail into it because I want you to go out and do your own prayer so they can't anticipate our reactions. But yeah, so that's that one thing. And I mentioned it in my other video, but not everybody might have seen it. But again, be careful going out to eat, because we do not know what they put in the food. And you would be surprised, actually. One of the things I noticed, because I live near places where there's restaurants, a lot of the chefs and the cooks, like, I don't want to be judgmental, but you would question, like, them cooking your food. Like you don't want anybody to cook your food because you don't want energies from just anyone. So, but there a lot of them smoke. I've seen a lot of them come out for breaks and they smoke. And I would just say that, like, yeah, it's interesting. So just be very observant in this time. But I'm sure most of you who do watch this and who watch my videos are very enlightened in terms of that you're aware of what's going on and you're just like keeping your eye, you keep your eyes open and you're aware of your environment. Be cautious again, I say. And like I said, they do come into your environment. So that's what I have noticed. So they try to come near you so they can like transfer things and jump onto you. But yeah, it's just, so be cautious. Do your protective, like whatever you do to protect yourself, prayers, anything. Oh, and the last thing I'm going to say, this one is very important. They're fearful of Jesus. Whether you believe Jesus is a real character or not, whether you're Christian or not, when you say your prayers, or if you do pray, I don't know, not everybody prays obviously, but if you mention Jesus at the end of the prayer, they get very scared and it's really weird. But yeah, so I just mentioned it in my prayers as well. Whether you don't even have to believe it, you just have to say it and they get very scared. So they're fearful of Jesus, even though Jesus, the name didn't actually exist until very recently. Like Jade didn't exist in the times of Jesus. So, and they're fearful more of the name of Jesus than the actual name that people say that was his name, like Yeshua. So yeah, they're fearful of Jesus. So I just say it in my prayers when I try to protect myself. Also, cloaking. People talk about cloaking yourself because your energies could be very high and they could be able to spot it because they have these dew towers everywhere. I would love to go around my area and show you all the dew towers that they have up on the rooftops. If you haven't been paying attention, look up when you're going out. Look to the top of the buildings. See where there are dew towers in your neighborhood, because that is what they're using to monitor, control, influence, and spread their demons and, as I say, programs and other things in themselves, project themselves. Another thing that I will actually say is the technologies and the things that they use is so advanced that they can interact with you in real time. They can react to your thoughts immediately. They can anticipate what you're going to do. Yeah, they use that kind of thing. So, and because it's like a parasitic network, they use the technology is based off like parasitic communication or viruses communications, how they can learn things in multiple places at once and like react and become activated. So half the people you see are just tapped, half the people you see are agents, half the people you see are just like, minding their own business. So again, just be very aware. I might start to record when I go out and show you my daily experience with street theatre and gang stalking. Yeah, I might do that. And then, yeah, I think that's what I'll leave it at for now. Like I said, this might become a recurring episode, and I will update you on anything I learned. And if you have learned anything that I have not mentioned in the last year or so about your targeting, then please let me know. All right, take care, people. Bye.